What's up, guys? Trey Lewellen here with another episode of Amazing Kommerce Kings. I have on the amazing Drew freaking Cannoli. Say his name right. Drew Cannoli. Like, this is why I'm excited, because I met Drew through Facebook, through like watching him grow and watching him do like good things. And then I just happened to run into him. Like, he grazed me. You grazed me in California at a traffic and conversion event. You're carrying a box of juice, ironically enough, around. And I was like, that was Drew Cannoli. And dude, I got to tell you, you were nice enough to stop what you were doing that day and take a picture with me and a good friend of mine, Sean Lynham. And I was like, dude, that's a cool guy right there. That guy's legit. So welcome, man. Welcome to Kommerce Kings, man.
Thanks, brother. I love what you're doing, and I appreciate you setting this up and making it happen.
Dude, yeah, I'm glad we were able to do it. So man, I want to get right into it. You got 4 million followers. You were just talking about how you had like a 90 million. We should have done green juice today. I'm over here drinking water. Like, I'm not cool yet. So yeah, I didn't prepare. I didn't have some Organifi to put in here. So, but I mean, you can make that happen. So 90 million retargeting list. What'd you say your email list was built to?
2 million, but we got about 1 million people that actually open it. So
that's about ours, right? Like, we got 1.1 million, and then we have 500 to 600,000 that actually, are active in there. So that's a huge list, man. I know with us, we have to bring in just 20,000 people a month just to kind of keep it turning. So I would assume you're probably in kind of that same limbo.
Nobody ever leaves. People just keep opening up and nobody ever leaves. It's perfect.
That's a good time. That's a good time. So, man, I want to talk about you because you're absolutely awesome. I want to be the student today and learn from you. So hopefully you came to educate. So, man, like, you have good charisma. You have a good, face for camera. Like, that's amazing. And you've done so many cool things. But, like, I want to hear from you. What is built FitLife? What is built, juicing vegetables? Tell me that story of how you've done it and then how you've like created these products and this following. And I just want to learn.
Yeah. Flashback 7 years. I was at a point in my life, probably like a lot of people out there, where they're struggling and they feel like what they're doing really isn't impacting people. And that's where I was. I was 40 pounds overweight. I was out of shape. I was lethargic. I was escaping. I was doing everything in my power to escape the daily grind. I was successful. I was running a credit and debt settlement company. I had all the money coming in the world that I thought I needed, the cars, the watches, different things of that nature. And I realized that it was all fleeting, that every time I went into work and was running this company, I wasn't impacting somebody's life on the level in which I wanted to. And I know in order to become that, in order to create a life worth living, in my mind, I had to become the demonstration.
Okay.
So I love health. I really do. Let me lose 40 pounds. And I knew a little bit about social media back then, 7 years ago, on YouTube. And I just started posting a video every day. And every day it would be a new video of, a tip or a hack that I've learned, not only from nutrition, but mindset. And over time, I started to amass this following. In about 90 days, I lost the weight. I posted my transformation success story and what it took to get there. I developed a digital program to sell for $97 and a $37 a month membership. Did really well with that. And then we launched Organifi in 2015. And over the past 3 years, that's really grown significantly. So it started with my own story. It started with the transformation that I had, and then went into, where we are today.
Sure. So tell me about, so you're doing this transformation story. So where in that quick nugget, did you start focusing on juicing? Like, how did that ever come to be? Cause you're like known as the juice guy, like green juice is Drew.
I had a man tell me that he had 6 months left to live. And his wife went home and cleaned out his whole kitchen and completely radically resurrected his life. And I knew that if I had 40 pounds to lose, and this guy saved his life from like cancer, like this terminally ill thing, in 6 months, what would it do for somebody that was average that had 40 pounds to lose? So I just one green drink a day for 2 weeks. And then I started a cleanse. I did 5 days of nothing but juice and bone broth and some really, really high nutrient, high vibing superfoods. And after that, the sky's the limit. You know, I changed my taste buds to trim my waist. I started feeling so much better. And that's kind of how I got into juicing. And then as I posted, I had hundreds of success stories coming in from people around the world of their transformation success stories as well.
Wow. So they were following you, but then doing what you were doing?
Yeah, they were following me. They were doing what I was doing. And I loved the high that I got from seeing all these people transform, that I just wanted to continue to do that.
Because yeah, you're always throwing out so much content. So when did you hire your first assistant or employee?
Yeah, so about 3 months into the business, I was doing the blogging. I was posting stuff online. And then I'm like, you know what? I need an intern. So I hired an intern.
And what'd they do for you?
Stuff that, like posting on Facebook, editing videos, all the preliminary stuff back in the day, handling customer support on social media, and just making sure that I had a voice out there. And then I hired my first kind of, I would say, implementer.
Okay.
So somebody who has a drive to get a lot of stuff done, who has the vision as well, that understands what we're creating. And that was May. And May's been with me for 7 years. Still today, wow. I actually had her Q3 review yesterday. So she completely helped transform the business and put legs on it. And she would write up a lot of the nutrition programs and stuff that I was doing for high-end coaching. So in the beginning, I would fly all over the country and help people transform for $10,000, $25,000 a day. And that's how I kind of funded FitLife and Organifi in the very beginning. And then I created a digital program, because flying to somebody's house for 10 grand, taking 3 days out of my week to do that, it became not really worth it.
Yeah. Shoot.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't fly anywhere for 10 grand.
Yeah. You wouldn't, dude.
I'm sure people are watching this like, are you kidding me? Like it's so amazing to go from what you've done, like the credit and debt settlement company. Because did you have employees? Like, were you the CEO over that?
I was.
Okay, so you already had employees, so you knew what it was to hire somebody. So that wasn't really a big setback or a limiting belief. It was for me, because that first hire was like scary. And so you've done that.
It was scary for me too. But yeah. I saw the, you know.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so going from that, so you hired this person you hired in May, and like, how'd you know what you wanted to pay them? How did you know what you wanted them to do? Like, what was your vision as you started to kind of grow this thing and open it up?
I was, my vision has always been the same.
Okay.
And it is, if I'm not doing what I love every moment of the day, then why am I doing it? Because there's somebody else that is going to love doing that thing that I loathe. So I replace myself, I delegate. And the things that I hated back then are probably a lot different than the things I don't like doing today. And I teach all my employees that as well. So I'm always checking in with every single one of them. And we have, I think we're approaching 100 people on the team now.
Shoot.
So I'm always asking them and checking in, like, do you love what you're doing every single day? And if they don't, then it's either time to get an assistant if they're a C-level player, or move a position, you know,
okay,
or leave, or get off the bus altogether. But yeah, that's very rare because of the culture that we built and expertise that the forerunners really have, the founders.
So tell me about the culture you've built inside of. What would you say the name? Do you want me to call it FitLife, or is it Organifi? Like, what do you want to? What's everything in?
I would say now we're predominantly focused on the revenue side of Organifi, whereas FitLife is the community. FitLife's the culture.
Okay, so the company that people work for would be
Organifi.
Okay,
because it generates the revenue, right?
Okay, so these 100 people, what do they? Tell me about the culture that's inside Organifi. How did you build that? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, so a lot of our people have come from following us for years. So watching Mindset Mondays, they've been definitely indoctrinated by our message, by our energy. So we're attracting people like we are, right? You don't attract what you do, you attract who you are.
Yep.
So the majority of the people in our office, I would say all of them, have had a life-changing transformation of some type. And it's led them to this mission, this movement that we've created to really impact and create change in others. So the culture is awesome. It's very open. Last year, we sent everybody to an emotional intelligence course that lasted like 7 months to really explore, develop their leadership as leaders. We read a book a week together. We have book club. We travel together. Usually once a quarter, we'll do like a short trip. And then once a year, we'll go to some place like Tulum or Costa Rica. We went last year. So we're constantly building the family. We have once a month, we have a dinner together. It's a lot of play. You know, one of our core values is to work hard, but play harder. And we're constantly pressing the limits with that.
I don't know which side, playing harder or working harder.
Yeah, play harder, because when you play, you're increasing, you know, as you know, the vibration of your being. And I think that's ultimately what has attracted all of our success.
That's amazing. So that's cool. So how'd you learn how to do this? Like who trained you, or like, did you read a book? Did it come up? How did this all come to fruition?
I think it's just, you know, many of the lessons that I've had mentors my whole entire life. And it's pretty easy, you know, it's the golden rule. Treat people how you want to be treated ultimately.
Yep.
Do I want to work in a job where I'm scheduled to be there 9 to 5 every single day? And if I'm not hitting my KPI, then I'm looked down upon? No, I don't want to be in that. So our employees actually don't even have to go into the office. They don't have to show up, which is pretty cool. So it's like this open community, and people crush their goals because of it. There's no, and of course I have a lot of millennials. Millennials are a lot different to manage than, you know, Generation X and Y.
Yeah.
So we've targeted the millennial vision, which has been really great for us.
So tell me about that.
So millennials love flexibility. They love openness. And one of the things they love the most is a vision. They love a mission. They love giving back to the world and creating a better place, which is kind of like who I am in a nutshell. Like everything that I do, I'm ultimately trying to make somebody's life better. And that shows through our products, through our coaching, through our resources that we have online, and through every single employee, really.
So with these employees, as it's all growing, because 100 people is a lot of people, man, just to oversee. So what would you say like your day-to-day tasks are, or your week-to-week tasks? Like what do you get bogged down with? What are you doing every day that keeps this company pushing forward?
Right now, I'm kind of an observer. I'm really working on removing myself from the organizational chart.
Okay.
So I am very much still the face, which is a transitioning point for me. I'm in the process of setting up casting calls for other influencers to have them come in and shoot Mindset Monday, Saturday strategies, our ad videos. And we have 3 already. So once I remove myself from that, really, I could choose to be there or not at that particular point.
Sure.
Which is a very interesting place in a man's life.
It is.
Because it's a really cool place to be, because I remember 7 years ago, like this was all a dream. It was all a vision. And now it's actually happening. Like first my vision was I don't want to do anything else than just shoot videos and make fun content and like impact a community. And I'm going to find all the people and put them in the right places to actually, you know, help me with that vision. And that's what happened. And now it's like, okay, how do we have global impact? How do we source products in different areas and give back to the community where we're getting the ashwagandha and the, you know, matcha green tea and the rhodiola and these mushrooms from Canada and everywhere else. So it's like a higher vision for ultimately how we can help. It's pretty cool.
That is amazing. So do you ever, like when you're putting yourself at that position, like you're totally like taking this company and putting it in front of you and saying, man, I've built this, like this is my baby, but my to-do list, it doesn't say anything. Like tell me about that feeling.
It I've struggled with it in the past where it's like, gosh, my team's setting all these meetings. They don't really need me, you know? And you kind of feel like this, you feel alone almost. It's like, wow, now I'm in this really weird place. It's kind of, it's an interesting place to be, because then when you get to that place, it's like you have so much more time to focus on expanding who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know that by expanding who you are, you're ultimately generating. I'm getting real woo-woo with you, dude. I just got back from the Yucatan jungle. I was there for a week, studying with ancient Mayans and like learning their indigenous ways.
Awesome.
So I'm a little like fatigued and tired from that. But
dude, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, as I was saying, like when you're expanding you, naturally your business is going to expand anyway. So the core majority of my work is focused on learning more about health, learning more about culture, just educating myself so that when I do go in and I simply sit back and observe, I can see who's going to be with us on the way to 500 million a year, and then who needs to shift their ways of being to either move or like get off the bus. And that's fun for me because I love taking a little seed and kind of like FitLife and Organifi back in the day and watering it and nurturing it so that it grows into this beautiful plant. And I believe inside every single one of my employees is that, like that the real person that gets to come out through this transformational journey of Organifi and FitLife.
It's pretty cool.
I want to be a catalyst for that.
That's amazing. That's amazing what a product is doing, you know, and a tribe is doing for not only the inner workings of your company, but also the outer workings through the viewer, the client, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's an emotional ride. Like I'm getting emotional. Like, yeah, I'm over here like, oh, like this is a little intense right here. This is good. I love it. So dude, how do you do that? Like what, like how do you know what are you reading? Like, how'd you even figure out about the Mayans up into the jungle? Like, how'd you get that ticket? What made you go there? Like, kind of go through that for me.
I think it's the connections and the people that we surround ourselves with the Mayan. My friend's Danette May, who I love. She's like a sister to me. She's another influencer online. And she just mentioned one day that she's always wanted to study ancient cultures and healing through ancient cultures. I'm like, that's weird because that's always been one of my dreams. Literally. And she's like, hey, I'm going in 2 weeks. Do you want to go? And I'm like, absolutely. I had no idea what I was signing up for. 3 days into it, I'm in a hut with no air conditioning. It's like 85 degrees. And I'm waking up and there's a scorpion like right next to my bed, like looking at me. And I'm like, wow, where am I right now? Like total off grid in the jungle. Like it was an incredible experience. I guess it's how you do it is being open and being crystal clear on your vision. Mm-hmm. And just being open, like, wow, what if it was easy? It's a mantra that I always say. What if it was easy? Yeah. And I attracted the right people, places, experiences, and things to actually show that. So powerful, isn't it? It's that, I mean, yeah, that's the epiphany of surrounding yourself with what it takes so like that's deep. Like we got a little deep there, Drew. I mean, deep with Drew is what we should call this. So, I mean, that's amazing because you've done so much and it's happened so quick. I mean, I know we're looking at 5 years to 7 years, but realistically, like a company that can be built that quick. And dude, I know you got pitfalls. I know that things are like, you know, like things break and you surpass an area or a bump that's just like, whoa, we made it. Like that was crazy. We went over that speed bump there and that was a little rougher than I thought. We've had those. And growing a company, man, to 100 million, to 500 million, to $1 billion, there's those levels, right? So we got about 8 minutes here before we got to switch over to behind the scenes. Can you describe maybe a couple times where, I don't know, where you felt like, I don't know if this is going to work or this is like crumbling through my fingers. I got to scoop it back up. Like, do you remember any stuff like that? I do. Absolutely. Like in 2014, I remember, I believe it was the tail end of August and I had my leadership team with me. There was like 5 of us. There was 8 people in the organization of FitLife. And we would just, we just came up with the idea of developing a green superfood extract for our audience. We had the world's largest juicing following on social media, right? JV, like measured it, but we didn't have a physical product to sell. We were only selling digital products. And this is at a time when Facebook organic reach fell through the floor. I remember when organic reach was in the Edge score ranking, I had like 5 to 20,000 likes on each one of my posts on this huge page. And then it just tanked. So I was losing $50,000 a month for 9 months in a row, $50,000 to $70,000 a month. And luckily I had saved a bit from, selling digital products and coaching and my membership site. But I remember I let 2 people go. And I remember looking around, and it was so painful for me to write checks for my employees because I knew that every check I was writing to pay for labor, I was actually losing the money that we had collected in the past. So I just didn't even want to see it. So it's part of our tradition now that employees actually sign their own check. They write their checks because you create what you want to make, right? Super powerful. I remember sitting there and we went around and everybody on the team told each other why they were grateful for each individual, what this mission and movement meant to them, and why they were there, period. And there was so much gratitude at the table that we felt this energetic shift at the table. And we formulated the green juice, and that was about to launch in 2 weeks. And I remember 2 weeks after that meeting of losing $50,000 a month for 9 months. I remember the first day we launched it and I saw like $37,000 in sales. I remember the number 37, and then like $45,000 in sales in a day. And I was like geeking out. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. And we were selling a green superfood. So of course, the business has definitely grown since then. But I think it's powerful if you have a vision and a mission and you really authentically believe that your product's awesome, to continue with it, to not give up. Because I was close to giving up. I believed in it way too much, and what we had built. I knew with the social media and the email list and what I knew about marketing at the time, there had to be a way. And then the more testimonials we got in from the clinical trials that were done on the ashwagandha that we put into the juice, more and more people started to buy it because it works. There's so many supplements out there that use rice and like all these fillers and all this other BS. But when you're getting clinical trials done and you're looking at the ingredients and you're developing all organic, like the highest quality things, like people are naturally going to have really good results with it.
Yeah. Wow. That's huge because that's a lot of money. And it just goes to shit. Like, I think you and I had this discussion because I remember a little bit of this because we talked about how it hurts to have that money in the account and then to like be writing those checks and losing it. It's just like every month it's like you keep getting put down. It's like, I need something to raise me up because like, I'm spending this money to just keep this thing going, but it's losing. Like there's an end. There's going to be an end if something doesn't change, right? Like but the belief is that you had an audience, you knew you had a database, you knew you had a product, you believed in what you had, you believed in what you sold. And at the end of the day, man, as we wrap up here before Kommerce Kings behind the scenes, is you had a niche, you're in a niche, which is juicing, it's fitness, it's being healthy, living it, and you're doing it right now. And you are a part of that. You're interweaved in that. Like you are meshed in that. What are those, cucumbers? Cucumber chips? So you're trying to make a point here, Drew. Gosh, got to ruin me with cucumber chips. So you're meshed into this thing, man, and it's so amazing of how there's flesh in there, there's blood in there, there's sweat, there's tears, there's gratitude, and a lot of other stuff that you've mixed into this thing that's exploded this business. And at the end of the day, man, like what I'm seeing is people are wanting a face. They're wanting somebody to be the front leader of a business. People are secretly wanting to be led. And you are doing a fantastic job, not only inside, but outside of Organifi. and I love it. I love it.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Thank you for your acknowledgement.
Dude,
I love it.
It's huge. So, Drew, how can these guys find Organifi? How can they try it out? Because it is good. It's delicious.
So, actually, I know these guys are your family. So if they go to Organifi.com, I think the code, what is it, Kommerce Kings, they get 20% off.
Nice.
20% off Kommerce Kings. Just use the coupon code at Organifi, which is ORGANIFI. Green juice, I talked a little bit about that. We have red juice that tastes like Kool-Aid. We got a lot of people that were drinking soda and stuff coming off of it. Like, they're like, I can do this. Less than 1 gram of sugar, superfoods, mushrooms, great for the brain. Like, you'll feel the energy. It's anti-aging. We got protein. It's like the world's greatest plant-based protein in there. Turmeric and probiotics as well. And we're going to, depending on when this goes live, we got gold coming out, which is a recovery. You drink it before bed. It tastes like coconut milk and turmeric with a little ginger. It's awesome, dude.
Oh, I want to get the recipe on like a ginger shot. I have yet to get the recipe on a ginger shot that like is better than coffee, because I drink coffee in the morning, so I need something to supplement the coffee.
All right. Ginger shots give you some energy. I just take like 2 knuckles of ginger. I put a little lemon and cayenne in there. You just shoot that up first thing in the morning. Bouncing all over the place. You do that
every morning?
I would say I do it 3-4 days a week.
And it's ginger juice?
I still drink coffee.
Do you?
Coffee's not a bad thing.
Well, it's the sugar cubes and the milk I put in it.
Yeah, don't put any of that in there. Heavy whipping cream or a little coconut oil is always good too.
See, that's why you're here, man. All right, guys, check it out. We're going to flip the screens. I got some big questions to ask Drew here that he's willing to answer, which I approve it. I love it. So go check out kommercekings.com/VIP to see what we had to say on behind the scenes. Drew, thank you for being on here with us on Kommerce Kings. This is going to be awesome. Stay here.